Hey runners, good morning and welcome back to the home office. The flooring's about done. They're doing some finishing touches here and there. The studio has all the most of the equipment in it. Drum set up, amps placed, cabling, a lot of cabling, not done yet. And a whole lot of other stuff that needs to be put into place. It's a lot of work to try to unpack an entire studio for new flooring. Let me tell you, I think if you look at a lot of studios, there's probably crews or something for that. Here, it's just me, unfortunately. Jack and Phil aren't around, so I get the bulk of that. They just get to join me in the studio once in a while. Anyway, on this song, it's going a little slower than it might have, mostly because of the move. But, maybe there was some degree of a block. In any sense, as I promised from the last time, some lyrics have started to happen. Now, we're missing a bridge. And that has to be written yet. I don't know. Maybe it'll come up today. As for the song, I think it was interesting because a lot of times people expect an artist to be tortured and starving. Have strong views that they need to convince you of, or are some form of a self-confession for every song, right? There has to be some deep personal meaning that I have to get out and you can appreciate. But the thing about that is it's insatiable. Within that sort of thing, people consume it as much as they can. And then once they feel like they've gotten enough, they move on to the next person who's doing it. It's kind of fresh. And meanwhile, that other person is coming up with more elaborate and more shocking sort of self-confessionals, trying to get the attention back. And that's a sort of a bad recipe for me anyway. So I don't do that. As you know, I tend to write with multiple meanings. Does this song have some meaning to me? It does. It's born out of a couple different relationships that I've experienced. None of my current ones, of course. But that feeling when things just kind of flip on you real quick and you didn't see it coming. I think that's the crux of this song and you can subscribe your own meaning to it, which is kind of what I like to do. I want you to be able to listen to it and come away with however you see it. That's what it means. All the complex bits of me, they matter a little bit less. In any sense, you'll notice a little bit of chord arrangement that's changing. Mostly what you've seen so far, but just a little bit of more refinement. And let's give it a quick run through so you can kind of see where we are. I'll try not to mess it up too badly. Here we go. On me, and I can't believe my eyes. Hey, how baby, when you switch on me, you put me in your sights. Oh, now baby, don't you switch on me. my eyes. Hey, how, baby, when you switch on me, you put me in your sights. Oh, now, baby, don't you trip on me. Let me hold you tight. 'Cause once it's lost, we can't regain what's missing from our lives. When all that's found is what remains, it tears me up inside. The what we had in early days has long since passed us by. What we had, I'll never say, wasn't worth a try. Hey now, baby, don't you switch on me. All right, well, you know, a couple bumps along the way, but you get the idea. What goes for that bridge? I don't know. That's the part we got to figure out. As for the chorus, the last end of it, what we had in the early days is then followed by, you know, the next bit of what we had, I'll never say. I've kind of changed the tense on some of that. I've made it you instead of we and blah, blah, blah. Here we are, aren't we? We had. So I'm saying had twice, which I guess is okay because we start with once it's lost and when that all that's found. So we go from past to present. So what we had in early days, maybe it should be, oh, what we have, I'll never say. But I think the song's kind of after the fact. So had feels better. But I like the symmetry of going with present tense after that. I don't know. We'll need a lot more playthrough to kind of see that kind of tweak, but that's good news because we're at that part where we're tweaking small words, phrasing kind of stuff, and trying not to mess up the chords while we're playing it, and come up with a bridge. I kind of like the ending bit where we circle back to, you know, don't you switch on me, and doing a nice finishing chord. I always like kind of have a big blah at the end. And we have our intro, we have our outro. I mean, it's a decent structure. It works with all the things that we've talked about so far. And I haven't really timed it, so I don't know length. I haven't clocked it to know beats per minute quite yet. I'm sure I'm a little bit all over the place, which tends to happen when I'm just, you know, rehearsing kind of stuff. Natural rhythm and all. You do notice that I think I've said everybody's kind of got natural rhythms for how they strum, and the song probably started with one of mine, which is always kind of like a, I don't know exactly what you call it, but you know what you hear is like, right? But it's changed to fit the lyrics, and that's, I think, an important part of, you know, my process anyway. Once you get to a spot where you have the lyrics, you got the melody, and you start to kind of sing it through as you play, I think the chords and the rhythm that you play it in kind of take a little bit more shape to the way the song, way they work with the song. It's not just the same thing every time, which is nice because every time you start with your natural rhythm, you think, is this the same thing again? Which is another thing. After you've written a bunch of songs, sometimes you kind of go, wait, did I already do that one? And I got to say something just a little bit different. Oh, I used that phrase before. Here's that chord again. So you try to mix it up a little bit, but there's only so many chords. There's only so many words. You're going to repeat yourself, and some will call it a style. And style's okay, right? So, hey, you do your best, try to get it through. And on this one, we're almost through. One other piece to think about. Is the song going to keep being called Lost and Found? It might be, because I like that bit at the beginning of once it's lost and then all that's found. I think that really works, but you could argue that Switch on Me is, you know, the title of it because we say it a lot during the verse. Maybe it comes out of the bridge once it's written. I don't know. I expect we might have one more live stream on this as the bridge comes together. But otherwise, if not, or immediately following, stay tuned for the Wind solo session where we electrify it up in the new studio or the new flooring of the studio, move things around a little bit. It'll look just a little different. And we'll see how it turns out. Will it make The next album, I don't know. But it's the start of writing for something new. I think that's exciting by itself. If you haven't listened to No Worse for Wear, please do. It's out now. It just came out June 12th, I think. So just about a month. All right. Take care.